And so I really want to acknowledge all of you for coming and making the time, because today you're in for a treat. We've started this morning with a lot of excitement. We just had we've had 3. This is number 4, if I'm not mistaken. Some of you are, or if I call my repeats, my favorites, and you are a favorite, and you are a favorite, and you are a favorite. So I want to welcome you all. I also want to let you know that the dish you're making today is really, really incredible. It's yummy if you looked at the ingredients list, and if you haven't, and the chef will go through it in a minute. She was asked to be here because she really is the go-to girl for indigenous crops. And it's important to understand that you're part of that. And today, as we enjoy, she started farming, so you can know, in the late 2015s, and then decided, you know what, I'm going to take this a little bit further. And today she's making her favorite dish. And so without a doubt, please put your hands together for Chef Siphiwe. Woohoo!
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very excited to be here. This is one of the moments that I've been waiting for, because when
your whole life, chef. Your whole life.
Yeah. So when I started farming late in 2015, when I had the perfect midlife crisis, and I thought that, you know what, getting into the 6 o'clock flight and sitting in some boring meeting and having coffee that I did not want, horrible coffee for that matter, that's what corporates serve. And I just thought, maybe let me try and do something, and I went into farming. And, I could have gone and grown something that everybody else is growing, and then went into the price war. But I had the vision to actually grow indigenous African crops, which very few people are growing. They are conspicuous by their absence. When I started having the idea, I was living in Cape Town, and I had to leave my house in Pinelands and look down in Mowbray and Salt River and Maitland to try and find African food. And I originally come from Mpumalanga, so you can imagine the vegetables that I was looking for were not there. So it didn't matter how many times people migrated to some of these provinces, the food is not following us. We need to make sure the food follows the people. As the demographics of a region changes, so should the food that you find in the shelves as well as served in the restaurants.
Chef,
so
I will follow you.
Yep.
That's it.
Thank you. Now, what I then realized was that a lot of people did not know much about indigenous African crops. A lot of them have forgotten about this stuff. This is stuff that people ate while they were growing up. And when I started inviting people to the farm, do farm tours and doing tasters, some people would cry. They'd have tears in their eyes, and I'd say, why? She said, the last time I ate this was when my grandmother was still alive.
Wow.
And some people would say that the last time I ate that was at my aunt's place, and she's since moved wherever. I'm no longer there. We're in different provinces, and people have got fond childhood memories of some of the stuff that we were growing, but they did not know how. And when you go into Google to try and find the recipe, there aren't that many, because you may find that the recipe talks of ingredients that you don't have. So this is why I said, instead of just growing the stuff, I also need to show the people how to cook it, because I've eaten undercooked beans in many places, undercooked sorghum, whatever, because people have got no idea. Just like if you don't know how to cook pasta, you overcook it,
100%.
or you undercook it. And the same thing with our indigenous African crops, because people don't know. And you follow a recipe, somebody say, cook it, for 45 minutes. But it depends, how much are you having there? Are you having a kilo or having 2 kg? So if you cook it for 45 minutes, it might actually be undercooked. So I just decided I'll take the liberty to educate people about how to cook this African food. So I'll work quite a lot with a number of chefs, because I said to them, chef, you know what, when I come to your restaurant, I don't want to be chewing on beans. Because you don't chew mung beans and whatever other beans. Why am I chewing the indigenous African stuff? No, there's nothing fancy about chewing, undercooked beans. So they've got to be properly cooked. Also you need to make sure you've soaked them, because they've got a lot of gas.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So here we are today, and are we doing a masterclass on Africa's second most popular beans? Those are the cowpeas. Babang badibitsa dinawa. Others call them imbumba. If you come from KZN, you'll call them imbumba. If you come from my province, Mpumalanga, we call them tinhlumayo. And then if you come from that other side of Bushbuckridge, Bari Timbaweni, if you come from Mozambique, they also know them. It's one of the most exciting beans you could ever work with, because not only do you get to eat the bean, but you also get to eat the leaves when they are fresh. You also get to eat the leaves when they are dry. So you dry them. So we know that, if you want to have have your greens. You can't always have them fresh throughout the year. And we also know that, you know what, load shedding happens. So as Africans, we're wise enough to realize that we could actually dry this, and then all you do, you soak your greens, and then they come back to life. And there you have your cowpea leaves. But today we're doing the dry beans. This is how they look like before you cook them. This is how they look like. They're very small, tiny beans. And if there's somebody who would be kind enough just to pass so people get to see the beans.
Must they pay if they want to touch it?
Yeah, they're more than welcome to touch them. And then we also have them when they've been soaked. Please soak them so that they cook faster. If you soak them, you could cook them under 45 minutes. They're one of the quickest beans you could actually do. They also freeze very well, so you can cook them in bulk and just portion them, put them in your freezer, and just pull them out whenever you need them. This is how they look like after you have actually boiled them. You boil and you salt them, so they absorb the salt nicely. Don't add the salt afterwards. They're gonna be like tasteless. So put the salt while you're boiling so that the beans absorb the salt nicely. And then what we did, we're gonna put in the Bambara beans. The Bambara beans are what I call the African chickpeas.
Right?
This is what I call the African chickpeas. So the people in the demonstration stands, they can try this. And take 2 or 3 and just taste them, and then pass to the next station. So these ones we're not going to add into the recipe, because what I want is for people to get the full texture of the cowpeas. Please pass to other people and you can just try that and get a taste of how well done Bambara beans are supposed to taste like. You are also going to be able at the various stations, I'm going to start from this side, get to taste these beans before we put the magic. So just get to taste them and know how they taste like when they are cooked, so that when under or overcooked, you will know that you did something that I didn't show you at this masterclass. So in front of you, what you all have is the cowpeas that have been boiled and mashed for you, just to save time. So we've already mashed the cowpeas for you. Please do not put them in the blender. If you put them in the blender, you're going to be forced to add water, and then they're going to become watery. And it's going to be a struggle of you trying to add all sorts of other stuff, try to get this thing to come together. So please rather take your, olden days kind of meshing stuff, whatever that you use to mesh things. So you can use a mesher, you can actually use whatever that you have, KitchenAid, whatever people have, just to blend that so that it gets blended into something that looks like this. You can see here it's not watery. I can hold the bowl like this, and then we're going to add the other ingredients. So that's what we have in front of you. You also have got finely chopped onions. You can use the spring onions if you want. So there would be like, if you put spring onions, you'll get a feel like you're eating some chili bites. How many of you know chili bites? Yeah, so it will be like chili bites, but this is made mainly from beans, and we're calling them the African bean balls. You could also have a medley of various beans. You could have the cowpeas as your hero ingredient, and then you could add the Bambara beans and whatever other beans that you want to add into that. Then you could choose your curry powder. So whether you want to have mild or hot or extra hot. So it really depends on your preference. So if you like hot, you could have some hot chili powder, or you could have a mild, and you could put in some cayenne pepper, you could throw in some paprika, whatever that you want. So it depends how spicy you want it to be. So you could have 2 versions. You could have the one that's just like not chili at all, and then you could have one that's really hot. Now, because some of us love our chilies, it's good for the flu, so you'd have that. And then you have to try and now put this thing together. So you've got your chopped onions in front of you. So if you could actually add that into your bowl. So let's add the chopped onion into that bowl. And you take your mixing spoon so that you're gonna mix that together. So mix the onion together with your mashed cowpeas. Okay? Chefs, if you could just assist us, just making sure that our demonstrators are doing the right thing. So you're throwing in the chopped chilies. You can then start mixing that together. You just want to make sure that the onions are evenly spread on your bowl.
So
I've
you're
already-
taking,
yeah.
everyone hear that, what Chef said? So your silver bowl is your start. Step 1. Step 2, the chopped onions, you throw that in. That's step 2.
Okay. So you mix that nicely.
Mixy, mixy, mixy.
Yeah. So you're mixing that. Once that is nicely mixed, throw in your curry powder.
Chef, they're asking all the curry powder or some?
It depends. If you don't want it too hot, put maybe half or a portion of it.
Okay.
It's a personal preference. You just have got enough. There is cayenne pepper there plus I think mild to hot curry powder.
Yeah.
So put in according to your own personal preference.
Just for you to know, the chilies are not hot. I ate a whole one earlier like a little snack.
Okay. And then we are now gonna put in, so we have in front of you, you've got corn flour, you've got a flour. We were supposed to use cassava flour, but what you are having is your regular wheat flour. So if you are gluten intolerant, I would advise that you actually stick to the cassava flour or even sorghum flour, because those
Chef,
are...
rice flour? I've got celiac, so I can't do gluten. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, yeah. So then you could then use your cassava flour. You could put in sorghum flour or any of the other gluten-free flours.
Okay.
So you throw that in. Yep. So you put in the flour. So you've got corn flour there. You've got some flour. So you've got 2 flours. The other one, the corn flour, is meant to make your bean ball to be crispy. That's for making it crispy. Yes, on the outer, you just throw it in there. Yes, yeah. So you put that one in. Yes, yeah. So you can leave that flour. Just have that plus that. No. These are your breadcrumbs. So you can have that. Let's have that. Yeah. So leave that one if you.
Either or.
Yes, yeah. So, or you can put all of that. Yes, yeah. So if you are gluten intolerant, you will put in things like the cassava flour and white sorghum flour, because if you put the red, then it's going to change the color. Okay. Yep. I think it ran out. We ran out of it from the other demonstration. Yeah. So then we put that, and then you are now gonna get this thing to be bound together. So start mixing all the ingredients together. Have it thoroughly mixed. You can use your hands if you don't mind. There is a sink. You can come to the front. You know, those of us that bake, it's easy to use our hands than to use a spoon. So please feel free to use your hands. Mix it nicely so you make sure that there's sufficient onion spread across the beans. Right. How are we doing?
While we're washing our hands, a shout out to So Pure. They're literally the stall just over here. They have sponsored all the cleaning products for today.
Thank you. All right. So you've got all of that mixed nicely. Okay. Yeah. Or you can just put a little bit, maybe just a portion so that it's not overpowering. And you can put that in. So let's have that mixed nicely. Right. Use your hands or your spoon. It's up to you. Have it nicely mixed. All right. All right. No. You can just mix. I think. Just use your hand, because then it's going to come together nicely. You can put less of the flour. Remember, you want to turn it into a ball. Okay. You're going to roll it into a ball. We're going to do, this is a bean ball. And you can use the same recipe to make patties. So it can be turned into a ball or into a patty, and you can shape it. You can either use your hands or you can use a cup or any of those cookie cutters just to give it a shape. Right. Thank you. All right. So now we are moving along. Are we okay? How are we doing? By the way, so when you're looking, sir, at your cassava flour comes from the fresh cassava root. You harvest the cassava root, you peel it, you then wash and dry it. After drying, you then crush it into a flour. This is how the cassava, this is where your cassava flour and your tapioca come from. Tapioca is a different process that you follow when you make it compared to just the cassava flour. When it's the cassava, all you've done is to just crush or mill the dried cassava roots. So how are we doing on that front? Are we all okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Are we ready now to start rolling our...
Let me have a check for you, chef.
Once we've got everything nicely mixed and you are happy with everything, if you feel that your mixture is a little bit too dry,
Yes,
you can
I
just
see
drop,
some there.
yeah, you can drop a little bit of water. Just take a drop of water.
If you need some water, there's in the front.
Yeah, so just
Please
put
come
a
through.
drop
I
of
can help
water
you.
so that it's not too dry. If it's too dry, when you're trying to roll it, it's gonna actually break. It's gonna split. Yeah. Okay. So this is how it's supposed to be.
Guys, I'm walking around showing you what your dough should look like. All right, because then at least you have a reference
Yeah.
point
You can
in
make your balls
comparison
to be a
to
little bit
yours.
smaller so that they cook faster. And also you're
Yes,
gonna
yes,
be
yes.
able to get them to be crispy on the inside
is
and a
what it
little
must
bit
look like.
moist.
I think yours is great.
So if they're
Nice.
too big, they just don't get to cook. So you end up with some a bit raw onions. So you don't want to have raw onions unless you love them.
I see so, I see so.
So we're gonna make small, tiny little balls according to the size that you prefer, and also whether if you have more people, you make the bean balls to be smaller so that you can feed more people. But if you've got less people, then you can make them slightly bigger. The trick is that you need to make sure that just let's add a little bit of water. Okay, just add that so that this turns into a paste. All right. All right. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of water here. So I just want to grab some water for this person. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're doing now. We're mixing this nicely so that we can turn this into a ball. Right.
If anyone wants to wash their hands, there's hand wash and there's towel as well.
Yeah. So if you love chilies, you can now chop your green chilies and add it there. If you don't like chilies, leave it out. The chilies is optional. Okay, it's all looking nice now. Right, just make sure that it's all nicely mixed, and then we're gonna start making those balls. Okay. Making them slightly smaller. So what's gonna happen is that they're gonna get cooked on the outside, not getting cooked on the inside if they're too big. You're gonna roll them and put them on your chopping board. Yes. Yeah. So you can make them that or slightly smaller. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so we're gonna start rolling our cowpea bean balls. And if you want to turn it into a patty, you can. So if you want to make it into a ball, roll it like that. If you want it like it's supposed to be a veggie burger, then you would turn it into a patty. Right. All right. Yep, you're doing fine. Let's just make this one a bit smaller. It's gonna take forever to cook plus that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you actually buy these beans? I mean, you don't see them in Checkers or the Indian shop.
Yes, you don't. And
Different African markets, or where do you get them?
we sell them, and we also supply a few other outlets. So we will tell you where you could get them. And we are hoping that with time, some of these outlets would actually decide to stock them. Yep. Yeah, that is perfect. This will cook nicely. So let's get people to make their balls. I'm gonna wash my hands and start rolling mine so that when we start cooking, we all cook together. Okay. Now I'm rolling mine, and I'm hoping you are doing yours as well. Okay. Just make sure that your hands are dry. If your hands are wet, you're not going to be able to roll those ones nicely. If you have some flour left, you can also use that flour to help you to just roll these so that they don't stick on your hands. All right. Okay. So we are all going to roll these mixture and get ready to switch on our stoves. We're going to get the teams here to help us switch on the stove so that we can start heating up our pans. Okay. Yep. Let's make it a little bit higher. Just one. Okay. How are your cowpea balls looking like? Are you happy with what you're seeing in front of you? You will also get to taste other people's balls so that you kind of know maybe you put too much or too little of something. Just so that you know what other children did. Okay, you know, like at school, miss, when you get the same brief. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So are we all okay? Are our balls coming okay? All right. All right. Here we go. Hi. We can solve them with like what? Maybe. Yeah, aspinall. All right. All right. Are we doing okay in making those balls? This is a lot of fun, eh? See, I didn't go to preschool, so I didn't get a chance to play with dough. I went straight to substandard A. That's kind of revealing my age, so I didn't get to, yeah. I went to school during the days where I had to put my hand on my ear. I need to be touched, they said I need to touch my ear, yeah, so that they can tell that I'm ready to go to school. And so the 1 year I went there, my hand didn't touch, my fingers didn't touch my ears, yeah. And then they said, yeah, you had to do this. Yeah, so then I couldn't, then they sent me back home and I went to play. And you must say thank you to that system because it actually allowed me to spend more time with my maternal great-grandmother. And that's how I got to learn about this indigenous food because she was only eating strictly indigenous. And she had a garden in front of her house. She didn't have a backyard garden. Food was right in front of the house, so I got to learn and spend time with her. And thanks to her, I'm now able to do this. I didn't realize at the time that she was teaching something that I was going to need. We can now, all the stoves on. If all the stoves are on and the pans are a bit hot, let's just get the coconut oil. You can use any vegetable oil that you have. So if you want to use whatever oil that you prefer, you are more than welcome to do that at home. I've got a question to say, where do you find these cowpeas? They are not in our retail outlets. And I think what we want is that the Plant Powered Show is going to help us to get South Africa's retailers to actually stock the... We can get the oil into the thing, if you could just get. So we're hoping shows like this will assist us to get South Africa's retailers not to be arrogant, to actually broaden what is available in our shelves.
Chef, can I ask something? These snappy chefs, P9 is the hottest and then it's burning.
Yeah, we need to
what number
put
do
it
you
at
want?
4.
Like a medium?
Yeah, let's put it at a medium so
then
that it
can I
cooks.
suggest you go P4, start at P4.
Okay.
If it's burning, lift it up, but make sure that you've dropped it down to
Yeah, drop it a
P4.
bit. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. You heard that. That said it must be at P4. Let's drop that. I can see some smoke there. We need to lower the heat so that you don't burn your beans. They're not going to come out brown. If they get burnt, they're going to look very dark.
It's not a sunburnt look that we're going for.
Yeah, nah. We're not trying to suntan here. So
Yeah, it's not a sun kiss. You know, that's for the gram.
Yeah.
This is indoor.
Yeah.
No green screens.
All right. So,
What are you on? Drop it down to P2.
okay, yeah.
Drop it down to P2, please. Everyone, please drop it down. If it starts to burn, drop it down to P2.
Okay.
It's not a vibe at P4.
So my...
Chef, we're going to make it fun, right? It's Friday
Oh,
afternoon.
yes,
That's
definitely.
it.
Yep. We've started the weekend. All right, so I'm going to start dropping mine. I just need I'm using a gas stove, so my oil is just...
Fabulous.
Yeah, so it's coming nicely, and I'm going to start dropping my cowpea balls on the thing. Let's just make sure there's no smoke on your stove. So drop it to P1 if you feel that. And also maybe use your spoon to just move the oil so that at least it melts nicely. So I think probably going to be ready to start. All right, I've started dropping mine in the pan, and let's see how that goes. So there we go. And you're gonna leave it there. So now here's a trick. If you want it to be crispier, you're gonna keep a little bit longer, but if you want it to be nice and soft on the inside, you're not gonna keep it, or you'll have it to be brown on one side, and then you turn it. And you can turn it the third time, it's entirely up to you. The third turn is really to just make sure that it is properly cooked. You don't have undercooked onions on the inside. Remember, the onions were added raw, so they have not been cooked. There we go. Okay. Right. So I hope everybody is okay. Just keep an eye on your pan and make sure everything is cooking nicely. Okay. There is some. You've got these as well. You can use this. It might just help for you to turn nicely. Oh, that one's working. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Somebody has found a trick to turn their cowpea balls. We've got some, I think it's a sweet chili sauce. Once it's done, you could actually serve it with that. So mine are cooking nicely, slowly. Okay. I'm going to share mine with the team and the people around that are not in this masterclass, but they are on the side since we don't have enough stations to get everybody here. Okay. Mine are looking nice and brown. They're not burning, so I'm quite happy with that. Remember, you have got your gluten-free flours that you will use to actually keep these together. And then if you want them to be crispy, you will then use your corn flour. But if you can't eat that, you leave that out. And please feel free to add whatever that you normally use at home as a binding agent. The key thing is that these needs to stay intact. So whatever that works for you, you're more than welcome. You can always adapt this recipe. Okay.
How amazing does this look? Wow, let's just move this out the way.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. So we're cooking this nicely.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to try and chef, but it looks incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got celiac. Can't do the flour, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, next time we'll figure out what we can use.
Fantastic.
So that you can also get to taste.
Looks yummy. I'm getting hungry already.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten much today, so I'm like, feed me.
And smelling good. Also, if you like garlic, you can also add that. So you could have some crushed garlic or garlic just to give it.
And chef, would
nice
you put
flavor.
that in before you mix them together?
Yes, yeah. Before
Okay.
you mix all of that
Got it.
together, so you then put there. Okay. Right. I'm just gonna take. If you can just keep an eye on my bean balls, so they don't burn, or you up the heat just by one. So I check that everything is cooking nicely. Oh wow, this looks good. Oh yes, and this. Okay, thank you. All right. How are we doing here? It's all looking good. Okay. Remember, if you lower the heat too much, it's gonna just drop the heat a bit so that they don't burn. If you lower the heat too much, the balls are gonna absorb a lot of the oil, so you don't want that. Okay? If you see some smoke, it means that your stove is too high, so just drop it by maybe one bar and you should be okay. Thank you. Just turn it one at a time. If you one at a time. If you do it like this, it's gonna break. It's gonna end up being mushy. All right. Wow.
Like that.
Oh, you coated them. Oh, wow. You see, you know what? Improvisation. You're dealing with cooks here. They know what they're doing. Thank you.
Are these
So
gluten-free
we're gonna
yet?
be eating very soon. Thank you.
Is it
This looks nice.
gluten-free?
No gluten, so that's
Is this the base?
Oh, yes, yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Never say that.
So remember
Could kill me, I
cowpeas,
could die.
Africa's second most popular beans. You find them literally everywhere. There isn't an African country I've visited that does not have or know about the cowpeas. They could be calling them in different names, but at the end of the day, it is. And some people call them the common beans, but they're referring to the same thing. Yeah. We just up the heat a bit so that at least it can cook a bit faster. Right. Are we ready to eat? And do we have a spoon? I think if I've got a spoon. Yep. No, they're not the same. Okay. So here's a question: is that are cowpeas the same as black-eyed peas? No, they're not the same. So the black-eyed peas are much more textured, and they take a little bit longer to cook than the cowpeas. But they are the same family. And the black-eyed peas are white or cream with that black dot, while the cowpeas come in many colors. You would get them in a purplish color, brown, gray, reddish, maroon, whatever. They come in very, very different colors. And this is how they would look like. So if it was the black-eyed peas and you've soaked them, you're gonna have the water that's mainly white and then the black just dyeing your water slightly. I haven't tried it with sugar beans because, I haven't tried it with sugar beans. What I've done is to combine the bambara beans together with the cowpeas. So the bambara beans, I call them the African chickpeas. So if you're looking for a recipe that would normally use chickpeas, you could actually use the cream bambara beans. You could have the cream bambara beans, and if you want, you would have to take the skin off of these ones just to get that smooth texture that you would normally get from the chickpeas. So the bambara beans, you also get them in multicolors. So normally you'd find them in different colors. You can separate them, have them in different colors, or have them assorted. Oh, my bean balls are looking very nice. I need to find something I'm going to serve them on. I'll probably throw them in here. Do I have a serving spoon? Oh, thank you. Oh, great stuff. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to share mine with the people around this class. Once they are cooked, you can take them out and put them on the bowls. So you're more than welcome to actually start serving if they are already cooked. And you can take out one just to try to be sure. Because we're cooking at different temperatures. This is not like, oh, the stove is at this, and also because they're different sizes. I might say to you, keep them on the stove for like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. You may need to keep them longer or keep them less.
Is it going well so far? You know one of your ladies want to present?
Yep, it looks like they are. Oh, yes, yeah. And is it? Okay. Now, I'm not here to judge you. At least it's not a competition. It's a learning experience. Yes, yeah. It's all about the taste. It's going to taste good. Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no. No pressure. Enjoy your bean balls. Whatever shape they came in, whatever size, it doesn't matter as long as you will eat them and share with whoever that you see next to you. Thank you so much.
I honestly don't even know.
Mine are coming out of the pen. I've got a brilliant young chef here that's helping me. You see, he went to preschool and played with the dough and do all the stuff that I didn't get a chance to do. So he seemed to be very good at this. I'm very good in the field. I'm very good at cooking, at growing the stuff and asking people to come participate in a cooking exercise. Looks like I'm probably gonna need a little bit oil to finish the rest. I think I took more dough than everybody else. I had a bigger chunk of the mixture. Other people got less, so hence your oil went the distance. Okay. As they say, bon appetit.
I always go like
Can we try this?
just around 2 things.
We hope that
I have no
the
idea what it costs to put on a show.
the photographer and the cameraman is going to be able to get the reaction of people as they start
Estimating
tasting
on
what
this
they've
one?
made.
Between a bar and a half.
Okay, and remember you've got that sauce so you can dip it in there and enjoy.
They might have given her a first-time discount.
Okay,
But that,
so are you loving? Wow, that looks beautiful. Oh wow, this looks beautiful. Beautiful,
say
that's
this,
gorgeous.
when
They
I
came
would
out
look at numbers
perfectly
like
well.
this.
Can I pinch your oil because I've run out of my oil? I think can we use
And
the
it's worth
pen
looking
to
for,
fry
so I don't
since
know.
I don't have enough oil? Yeah, thanks. I went and borrowed oil from a neighbor.
I'm not sure.
Oh yes, yeah, sure. Please feel free
Yeah.
to garnish. You've got permission from me. They said this was decoration, but you know what, we can always try. I see some thyme there, there's coriander, garnish, make your dish look beautiful. Yep. And then some basil there as well. Wow. I can see it's going down very well. People are really enjoying what they've made. Maybe if we could also get the mic to go around and just get feedback from people that participated in this class. What do they think? Are they enjoying it? If these beans were to be available in retail outlets, would they go out and buy? And if some agro processors were to do pre-mixes, we've got people like Imelda who actually very good agro processors. If they were to have these as pre-mixes that you could just buy from a shop, get home, put it together, and then voila, you've got an amazing dish.
Because you need to cook with it
'Kay.
for baking. All right. Do I have anyone who has like to make a comment? Gabby, thank you for volunteering. Fantastic. Gabby, what are your thoughts?
This has been an amazing learning curve. Thank you, Mama Siphiwe, so much. And I have the best cooking partner ever. Her name is Jo.
Hey, shout out for Joe. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Fantastic. I'm coming over here. I'm so glad I was called. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Oh, this is absolutely delicious, and this is so much fun as well. And I think that it would be really nice if all these beans were available, because we are in Africa, so it should be as accessible as like chickpeas and lentils.
Absolutely agree. I'm coming over here. These people, is it Megan? I could get this so wrong. I'm so sorry. Marjorie. Same. You know, it's the Afrikaans version of Megan. Marjorie. We're going to go with that. What has your thoughts been? You've been stalking me. I mean, we've partnered together all day. Oh my gosh, it's happening. It's happening. That's Insta official. Marjorie, tell us your thoughts about this today and about pre-packaging and pre-made in stores, as well as your thoughts about the show.
I'm going to be very honest. If this was available to just add everything in and make, I would make it once a week. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does any...
you,
we've got the beautiful ladies over here who would like to say something, Chef. Yes.
Okay. I want to send a shout out to my partner, Lily. And I want to say I love that we don't have to follow the direct rules of how you want to flavor your African bean balls. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Hold on, say that again.
What a wonderful experience.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
All right. Can we give it up for Chef Siphiwe?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Please follow us
Okay,
on
now
the
we
Plant
can-
Powered
then
Show.
I can
Join us for the rest of the weekend. My name is Björn. I'm the MC. Right in the front, you'll be able to see the program for Saturday and
thank
Sunday.
you. Must
And
try mine
please
as
share
well.
the love and let's enjoy conscious cooking. Thank you very much. The show is officially done. The Masterclass is wrapping up. We've got a couple more minutes before the show closes. Have a wonderful
Yeah.
weekend. Thanks, Stephen. Hit the
Thank you.
music.
Show Pop-Up Podcast is here. Pull up a seat at the kitchen table and join me, Sean Lewitz, as I chat to local and international chefs, as well as health and wellness experts about this fascinating journey of food, health, and conscious living. Go ahead and follow the Plant Powered Show pop-up podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts right now and take us home with you as we delve deeper into the world of plant-based living. The Plant Powered Show pop-up podcast.